welcome to your Valentine's Day reading with me, Shruti. You're watching Living Our Ascension. So, this Valentine's Day, I was guided to use the cards from the same reading that I did a couple of years ago. Somehow this image popped up on my feed, and I was guided to use the same images. And of course, in a new way. So there's going to be new messages that are there. But you'll see the reveal, in just a minute. So we're going to get to the reading in just a second. But before that, I just want to let you know that, if you enjoy this reading, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. You can give this video a like and leave a comment below. I really love to hear your feedback. If you resonate with what was said, with the reading, with the message that you got. You can leave a flower if you want, like a rose emoji, yeah, because it's Valentine's Day. and and yeah, basically, if you would like to receive any personal messages that are tailored just for you and much more in depth, then have a look at my services on my blog. All the links will be below this video. It's at www.livingourascension.blogspot.com. And now, let's move on to the reading. So what you have to do is you have to choose a number from 1 to 9, just any number. And as you can see in the image that's in front of you, I'm going to be using these cards from the Lovers Oracle, and they're really, really beautiful. It's beautiful artwork. And you will be receiving a message, from these cards, and of course my own intuition. And yeah, I really, really hope you enjoy it. Have a beautiful Valentine's Day. So what you can do is you can focus, if there's a particular relationship, then you can focus on that person and just, close your eyes, in your heart, focus on that person and ask for the message of guidance that you need now. And otherwise, just close your eyes and ask for a message, the highest message that you need now, to activate beautiful divine love in your life. And after that, after you have done that and you choose a number from 1 to 9, you can just skip to your message. The time slots will be below this video. So if you chose number 1, then the message that you get is, let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. So what I feel here is that, there are some patterns of codependency that have been there, and codependency is very different from being interdependent with someone, relying on them and coming together as two wholes, in a relationship, and then creating something together versus, something that we need to fill ourselves with, and we depend on somebody else to do that for us. That is what codependency is, that we have these expectations from somebody else, and really those are things that first we should fill ourselves with, and only then can we really attract it in the external from our partner or elsewhere. And the additional message that I'm feeling here for you is that now during this time that will be coming to light, and especially I have a feeling that one of the partners is they haven't, something is surfacing within them, like they haven't seen a pattern that they had, a codependent pattern, and actually their partner, and this person is probably you, because you are asking for this reading, like you're here listening, but it could be your partner, but most likely it is the person that's listening to this reading. That there is something surfacing within, and your partner's been there, they've been there supporting you, and you realize this, that sometimes we don't see that, and it'll be like this intuitive hit that comes to you. So you'll suddenly realize that they've actually held loving space, or they're starting to now, and they're holding this space for your empowerment as well, so that you can within that loving space, that is the reason, why this is coming to surface, that you are finally ready to see this. And there's a chance for you to really embrace that, and I feel that that's what you'll do. You'll really embrace what they've brought to you, and be appreciative of it, and it'll lead to some healing and holding, that is just really beautiful, with like two holes coming together. So if you chose number two, then your message is emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see clearly, you must let go of resentment. So what I feel here is that that you have this beautiful image of a woman staring at her reflection in the water, and what this is saying is that um, there might have been some deep-seated hurt that was there, that's coming from your past. It's not just within this relationship, but that's coming from like a life event or from your childhood, and maybe you didn't realize it to the full extent, or maybe it's another aspect of something that you already know, that's coming up now, but your relationship is reflecting that, and you're realizing where you still harbored some sort of a resentment, in relationships, and you've carried it long enough, so it's time to just let it go now. And this will be coming to you, not as something very heavy. In fact, you'll be seeing it through the reflections that your partner is presenting to you, because our relationships, they are always a reflection of us, of our inner state. And what if you look at the image, the woman is naked um, in the picture, and I feel that this is your message. That you need to be vulnerable, um, and it doesn't have to mean physical nakedness as such, but you need to allow yourself to be properly vulnerable, because when we don't allow ourselves to properly just come as we are, if we feel hurt about something, because if we are resentful, um, underneath that, there's always this hurt and betrayal, and um, these really deep-seated emotions that lie there. And we need to be comfortable sharing that very vulnerable aspect with our partners, rather than anger or blame, which is something that we feel as a reaction to that unhealed emotion within us. So just come as you are, and you'll find that most of the time, like in relationships, people are much more willing to have a soft spot for you when you come within honesty and your full vulnerability. Then they can meet you where you are. Whereas when we just start to blame and be angry, or we hold this unforgiveness towards the other person, there's very little that the other can do as well. So I really feel, look at this naked image, and that is what you have to become now. That is your message for now. And that is turning into this, your relationships also becoming this beautiful, direct reflection of your divinity, and not just of what needs to be healed. So if you chose number three, then your message is freedom. There is nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. So, as you can see in the image, there's a woman she's just rising from like this lotus, or it looks like a flower that she's rising from, into the dawn. It's like she's soaking up the sun. So it's like a new lease on life. There's a rainbow and everything. Things are blooming and blossoming. So that is what's happening in your relationships at this time. You're going to see like the birth of something new, and it's very spring like. It's a new feeling of like being born for the first time. And how that's happening is that you're realizing that you're actually more free than you have allowed yourself to feel. And often we feel that there's certain things that we can't do, or it just doesn't occur to us because we're conditioned within society to be in a certain way, or we feel that good things can't happen to us for some reason. um, and of course then we don't feel the experience of that all the time, because we haven't we don't feel that self-worth. But now at this time, there's this realization coming to you that you deserve this. And so something where you were holding yourself back, you wanted to experience something in relationships and it wasn't happening. The reason was that you were holding your own self back in some way. And this is not about blame, because like I said, we've been deeply conditioned within society. But you're finally realizing that there's no need for this chain and this bondage. and you can just let it go. In fact, it's heavy, it's redundant. And then as soon as you realize that, and you just let that go, and you can drop it in just 1 second. And that's the feeling of this image as well, that it isn't like this long drawn out process, that you just have this realization and you're just letting it go at this time. And that's really leading to just a new phase in your love life and in your relationships, and it's just so beautiful and joyful. If you chose number 4, then your message is passion. A magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at present. Enjoy it. So as you can see, this card is very, very passionate. And what I feel here is that um, you are, at this time in your relationships, whether you are in a relationship or not, if you're not in a relationship, you'll be working with this yourself. And if you are in a relationship, then you'll be working with this as a couple. But in your relationships, you are letting go of something of the physical. This doesn't mean necessarily that you have to completely let go of whatever that is, but something, often as humans we can hold on to some to the physical level, too much. Maybe you are too materialistic somehow, or there are too many concerns about the physical and survival, with regards to your relationship, whether it'll work out or not, or you're holding back in being more passionate with your partner because there are some physical fears, um, or making your partner feel, let's say, appreciated, or yourself feel appreciated because you feel that there is some material concerns. And if you look at this card, it's like a merging of the physical and the spiritual, because it's almost like, when they are in this sacred sexual union together, they are becoming almost energetic, consciousness. You can see that there's um, it's like they're becoming vapor or something, like they're melting into each other. So that's not, that is actually happening at an internal level for you and not just physical. And once you are, and I really feel that there's something of a physical nature that you have a dependence on, like a codependence on. And when you let go of it, which is actually happening at this time, that is when you kind of like transcend to the next level in your spirituality. And then it's like this merge of the spiritual and physical that happens. And um, and that is leading to just this magnetic quality that you have, because now you don't have those fears anymore, and you can just relax. And when we completely relax and allow, that's the only time that we can dissolve into something more than ourselves, whether it's our partner or something of a higher nature, and just in life. But through this process, you are actually becoming very, very magnetic, and you're drawing to you. Let's say if you're single, you're drawing lots of partners to you, or potential partners. And there's just this magnetic quality that you have. It's kind of irresistible because you've let go of identification and you're free. And when people see that you are that, everybody wants is drawn to your energy and they want to take part in it. And even if you have if you have a partner, then you'll be experiencing this with them, more love, more passion, because again they can feel it from you. So yeah, like the card says, a magnetic quality surrounds you now, so just embrace it fully. Let go of all those more survival based fears, and body based fears, and just enjoy this time. So if you chose number 5, then the message that you get is romance. Cupid's arrow strikes. And it's the card right in the middle of the reading. So, which again is kind of symbolic to me, because the center, like the center of our heart, right in the center and the depths, lies a higher heart, which connects us to divine love. It's not just, this love that we feel at the physical level, but it's something deeper than that. It's like from the core of us. And so, this is a beautiful energy right now that you are manifesting. And it could mean that, you are starting a new relationship, or it could mean you're meeting somebody with that there's that potential. Or if you are coupled, then it'll be like a new start in your relationship again. Those moments when we feel like we feel extra close to the other person, and there's just this ease that's there, and there's a lot of bonding that happens. So there's a lot of bonding in this card. And what I feel is that how that's happening now is when kind of like, you're finally realizing, because what happens is that we see somebody else, or we see either our partner or people around us, that we would want to be with, let's say. And we see that we can often have this inferiority complex. We feel like they have this quality that we kind of lack, or we feel not like we're not good enough for them. But you're finally realizing that everybody's different, and you actually bring something different to the table. And that is what it's all about. We don't actually have to be the same and be good at the same things, because opposites also attract. And so as that realization happens, and you are able to, because when we become when we have that realization of what we have, we are more open and generous with that energy, because we feel like we claim it, we feel we have a certain power with it. And we kind of just exude it. And then it allows the other person also, that magnetic pull that happens, that is kind of subconscious, just like two magnets. There's a positive and a negative pole, and they're just drawn to each other at an energetic level. So it's because you are claiming this within yourself, that you have something to bring to the table, and the other person has kind of like that opposite quality. So this also at another level is this happening within yourself, within the masculine and feminine aspects within you. You might be seeing it through the people in your life, or around you. Even if you're not in a relationship. But because of this beautiful bonding that's happening, this sort of closeness, you'll be experiencing, living, and being in that sacred heart center, and creating that in your relationship. So it's a time of deep bonding for you, and lots of romance and closeness. If you chose number 6, then your message is friendship. Nurture the bonds of friendship within your relationship, and your love life will dramatically improve. So what this means is that whether you are in a relationship or you're single, you know what's happening within you, and as a result will spill over into your relationships, is that you are recognizing, which aspect within you need to balance, that you can put forth in relationships. We all have a more masculine side and a feminine side. The feminine side is all about receiving. And as you're listening to these words, I want you to pay attention to the first one that instinctively comes to you. What is it that you need to do in your relationships, and with other people, and not just with intimate partners, but just everybody in general? Do you need to receive, or do you need to sort of give? And what I mean by receive is be vulnerable, be the one who also accepts help, accepts support from other people, and takes the time to do that and relishes it, feels okay just being themselves and accepting that. Is it really that energy that you need right now? Or is it the other side, the more masculine side, which is, as you can see in the image, he's protecting her. So it's kind of like, acting for the other person, through actions, showing them, and showing them that support through more active ways, through, I don't know, maybe buying a gift, through showing them, standing up for them, for their truth, and just doing these actions that they need, even practical ones at a daily level. And yeah, just instilling that trust. So whichever one you need to do more of, whether it's the more active force or the more receptive force, um, through that your relationships actually becoming very, very balanced. And you are able to then foster this closeness that you have probably not felt in a while. And because all relationships, they begin with friendships, like intimate relationships also begin. are the best, when we are also friends first. And so, you can really develop that aspect within your relationships, whether you have one right now or not. But through working with this energy within yourself, and you'll see how your relationships are changing, through becoming more close. You might be intimate with each other, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we have real intimacy. So now real intimacy and closeness is coming through friendship. um, and yeah, there's this just this beautiful energy of bonding and closeness that is opening up for you right now. If you chose number 7, then your message is forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. So, as you can see in the card, it's the white one. There's this woman who's looking away, and the man is like sort of like reaching out to her, or trying to make her feel better. And this is kind of what we do is we often, of course, things happen to all of us, and it seems like this is talking about something that happened in your past. It could be your recent past, your old past, like from your childhood. But there's something that's there, that you are still holding on to, and it's kind of been affecting your relationships. But at this beautiful time, what's happening is that you are being given like a helping hand from the universe. And whether that is through just the universe helping you through signs and advice, guidance, and synchronicity, or through your relationships. And it might actually be the latter, more of the latter, that relationships come around, yeah, and kind of like to support you. So at this time, you are guided to accept that help. Sometimes we can hold on to this need to kind of be the victim, or the yeah, just play the role of the victim, and it doesn't ultimately serve us. We can feel like, no, we need to make the other person feel like a real, otherwise the person won't realize what they have done, or what they have not done, how they have not contributed, if we just let it go. But that's not how it is, because any energy that you harbor, it actually, if it's coming from you to the other person, you have to live in it first. It flows through you. And so this is talking about the fact that when it comes to releasing that and just allowing yourself to be free and be joyful, you have a lot of help available for that right now. And to just accept it, to allow help, to allow just letting go, and being free. And that is really leading to this lightness in your relationships, and this new level of grace as well. If you chose number 8, then your message is healing. Imagine yourself and your beloved surrounded by light. Feel your relationship being healed this very moment. So with this card, it seems that your past relationships or a recent relationship, kind of left you with some hurt or a sense of betrayal, and it might be recent events. That's the sense I'm getting. Um, and the guidance here for you is that you still need to work with that energy, and you may be ready to move on, whether this happened recently or in your past. There's something there. um, and and whether you are single or in a relationship, it doesn't really matter. But it's about the energy that you might still be holding on to, that you haven't realized, or maybe you are off late realizing that something's there, and you're having a hard time sort of letting it go. But it's also not something too heavy at the same time. So, there's this sense of using that energy constructively, and allowing it flow. That's all you really need, is just to allow the body, within the body, that it flows and it's not just stuck somewhere. So, through that, the sense I'm getting is that if you're allowing some sort of body work, as you can see in the picture, there's a man that's working on a woman in the clouds. So I really feel that some sort of a class or a session might help you, as a couple, or as you're just yourself. some kind of therapy. It can just be something as simple as an exercise class or a yoga class, some sort of body work, acupuncture, just a massage, or some sort of therapy, counseling, something that makes you feel really rejuvenated and relaxed. And it doesn't even need to be something heavy, like, for example, even if you go for a counseling session, or if you have it with a friend, even, there's a sense of just this exchange that happens. um, or let's say you get some guidance from a reader of some kind, but yeah, there's some definitely some body work also involved there, just to get that energy flowing. So whatever, intuitively, whatever you're feeling, because we all know this at a gut level, something that we are being called to. So just make space for that in your life, because that is what's really allowing you to be free, and just have this sense of overflowing, like, grace that's coming for you. So if you chose number 9, then your message is sacred union. Honor and treasure your relationship, for it is truly sacred. So, in case you were wondering, somebody that you're with, whether they are the right person or not, um, or the way, let's, even if you are single, let's say, you're wondering, the feelings that I'm getting right now, is it really true or not? Is it something that is coming from my intuition? And this seems to be a message that whatever you are feeling about love and relationships, they are coming from something higher, because there's this beautiful image of a sacred union that's there. And that doesn't always have to be a physical union, although it can be, that you are, starting, let's say, something new, like a new relationship or a new level in your relationship. And it sometimes what happens is that before things get right, before we know that things are right, and we transcend to the next level, and we can kind of live in a new level in our relationships, live a new level of our relationships. There's this rebirthing process that happens. It's like a death sort of a process, which can feel a little bit heavier, and during that process we can feel like, is this the right thing or not? There can be more confusion. But just this message is just to let you know that you're on the right path, actually, and just hold that space, that void space, because what happens right after the void, when it's completely black, we feel uncomfortable and confused sometimes. But that is the exact point when the greatest amount of light could come in, and that's what's happening for you right now. That there's actually something really beautiful blossoming, and it's happening in the physical as well. um, and yeah, it's actually really magical. And so you are on the right path, and it's just, this message is just to release any doubts that you have, and just hold space. That's it. Just have some patience, and allow divine timing to unfold, because right now, first, before that can happen, we just need to allow everything without judgment, and just take part in it with an open heart.